week 9.
Week 9. It's that time
Episode
again.
9.
The 9th one comes out
Literally.
to 8 before
Next
10.
week it'll be episode 10.
Oh my god.
Maybe we'll even try it live.
Oh my god, live. Wouldn't that be exciting?
Wouldn't that be something?
All our blunders. We couldn't edit out the N-word that we often say.
Literally, we should probably just stop.
We should,
I mean, sorry, that's crazy talk.
that might be going a bit faster, and I'm not sure. You know, I'm mentally prepared for that.
No, not right.
How have you been?
You know what? Not bad. We
good.
of course, we went to Anglesey.
We did.
I saw you there.
I saw you there too. About and around. We didn't do anything creative like we said we would.
No, I'm honestly shocked. We were just. I have absolutely no idea why we did not. What was distracting us today?
Who on earth knows?
Not me.
Frankly, who on earth cares?
I forgot to bring a change of clothes again.
And you're looking very.
I rolled my sleeves down this time because I look a bit like I was trying too hard when I rolled them up. But now I feel like I'm trying a bit hard when they're rolled down. And
I don't know.
I've tied this button here. For the sleeves.
Yeah, the shirt. Look, it's hard to wear a shirt and not condone a trying look.
Yeah, I do.
I feel like that's half the point of a shirt. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Just because of the buttons, you have to do really like.
I think that's the reason that I despise my job so much because it makes me look like I am a try-hard when.
In fact,
you all know.
You try with the hardest of them. Is what I have.
I am a try-soft.
A trifecta.
Yes.
It's not really a pun.
A triangle. In many ways.
Famously having 3 sides. Should we jump right into
Plum News? Well, yeah, we do have a lot to talk about today outside of Plum News as well. So you know what? Let's just reel off these headlines. Let's get some iconic reactions.
Here's one for you.
Wait, do it again.
Here's one for you.
Where would it be? The Plum Chutney news insurance too. So sorry, that's as you sound.
Welcome to Plum News.
Here's one for you.
Oh my good lord!
So, you
didn't tell me about that, dude.
The question is, should I go?
Here's one for you.
And then say a headline.
Every time there's a headline,
do you think
absolutely.
we'll get bored of that soundbite eventually?
I don't think we will ever get bored of that sound.
Okay, well,
honestly, I don't think just there's a headline every time there's anything.
Anytime there's anything, just like, oh, son.
Here's one for you.
Which button is it? I want to press it as well.
It's this one right here.
The top right.
That top right, yeah.
Wait.
Here's one for you.
Okay, yeah.
Nice.
Do you want me to show you the other ones, or should I just?
Yeah, go on. Let's go through them now.
Let's go through them. Okay. Well,
so we might have hit the Plum News button a bit too early there.
We might have, but we are often.
See us.
So
not for copyright
we've
because
got
of the BBC News. Oh my. Nice.
We've got Omar.
Famously RTJ.
We've got
Amy Sands hates that song more than anything. Is that what's that?
That's Maxwell Silverhammer.
Is that Maxwell Silverhammer? I thought it was. Do it again. Maxwell Silverhammer.
It's the very end one because that was the clearest.
I was going to say
sound of it.
So so it's not something that I can sing the rest of the chorus through.
No. Well, that's hopefully I would thought that would prevent that because I think I would do that too, and then we just launch into the full song.
Classic.
A famously,
what a great song, though. What a good song.
Famously, the Beatles, quite good.
The Who?
No,
not the Who.
Not the Who. Banter. That's just some band banter for you.
Some week 9 banter for you there. We've run out of all the funny things to say.
There's only 2 more basically.
Okay.
That's Will Smith from the YouTube Rewind, and this is for a hot take. This is also Will Smith.
Oh, there's that. There's that.
Listen, there's a hot take.
That's going to be.
And then finally, see, I'm not sure to save this one for. Do you know?
Play it.
Play it. Okay. Well, do you know who I love?
John Tickle.
It's Jeremy Corbyn. And so I can just roll this out.
Oh,
and we can...
gorgeous. Hi, old Jeremy Corbyn.
Hi, Jeremy Corbyn.
I'm so emotional right now.
I feel like lots of communists, I wouldn't say propaganda, communist
the funny thing is that
comes up on here.
The funny thing is that associating that with Jeremy Corbyn will probably put a lot of people off Jeremy Corbyn.
It's okay.
But you know what?
Okay.
I don't want those people to vote for Jeremy Corbyn.
People do anyway. You know what I mean? People already associate this with Jeremy Corbyn, so
Can we play that again? That just made me very emotional.
Sorry, I was actually over. I stopped.
I wish I was wearing a hat and I could wait. Let's go
I did originally try and sample the full the full anthem.
Yeah.
But my mixer didn't allow it.
Oh, and it is an anthem.
It said it is
What
my,
a
it's
donk.
my anthem. I know that for sure.
If I had a Tinder, that would be my anthem, definitely.
Oh, that is
Soviet
a good
national
anthem, to be fair. I wish I had a Tinder just for that. That's incredible.
Should we set up a Tinder? Do you think Amy Sands or Danny Rushton would mind? Could we set up a Plum
We
Chutney
could set
Tinder?
up a Plum Chutney Tinder. Like,
I think that would be funny.
And people, we match with people and we're just like, hey.
It's a picture of both of us and the tagline could be like, we come as a team.
Yeah. And we just go like, if anyone messages, we're just like, hey, have you listened to our podcast? And we're not trying to like meet up with them or do anything with them. We just want people.
If we match anybody, our first line every time would be, here's one for you. And everybody would be like,
oh, sorry, turn it down a bit for them.
Here's one for you.
nice.
Perfect.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my.
So anyway, should we?
Fuck the Lord, they can eat my dick. That's
word
word to pimp.
So sorry.
Here's one for you.
Let's go back into it. I'll turn it down quiet.
Oh my gosh.
Here's one for you.
Church of England to consider medical cannabis investments.
Really?
That's the
How
first
recent
headline.
is this?
Very recent, very recent.
How very recent?
I saw the article and it said last week. So
That's less than a week ago.
that's less than a week ago. And you know,
well, great, yeah.
there's not much to say. Well,
There isn't much to say about that.
Well,
I mean,
they said we clearly make the distinction between recreational and medical. But famously, the medical marijuana industry in America was a joke because people would go in and be like, I have
I'm
trouble
sad today.
sleeping and sometimes I get sad. And they'd be like, here's your weed license.
do you need a license, really? That's so funny.
That's how medical marijuana works.
Oh, that's
you
incredible.
Needed a license,
I didn't know that.
but you basically just needed to go in and be like, I even heard a comedian say, I just went in there and went, what do I need to say to get a weed license? And they were like, well, it helps with anxiety. And he's like, that'll do.
I love it. Now I feel like it's not even a hot take anymore to say like we don't even need the hot take button to be like it's just a matter of time before it's legalized. I'm sorry.
I think if we didn't have a Tory government right now, it would be legalized because usually we're ahead of the curve on America and things like that.
Yeah. No, absolutely. There's no real downside to weed smoking. Honestly, I think it'll reduce alcohol-related crimes as well. Do you know what I mean? Because if there's more legally available substances for people to,
absolutely,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you don't hear. I know everybody. When I say there's never been like weed poisoning related deaths, there have been alcohol related deaths.
Yeah.
And there's always the comeback to that is, oh, but it messes with your brain. But so does fucking coffee. Do you know what I mean? So does coffee.
So does not having enough sleep.
And when weed is.
So does fucking McDonald's.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And gang crime will plummet.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Literally, and it means that ordinary people don't have to meet up with literal criminals.
Yeah, literally, you don't have to get into somebody that you've never met's car.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Hi, how you doing? yeah, just some weed, please.
Didn't I hear of somebody once turning up in an Uber?
I ordered a dealer. I won't put his name on blast. He's a fugitive of the law, famously.
Yeah.
And I ordered him, and he sent a new guy, and the guy was like, "Black Uber at the end of the road," and I was like, "Oh," and I went to the end of the road. But
That's
you know
incredible.
what? It was the best because my main issue with meeting with dealers is that you look in the street of parked cars. And you go, fucking hell, which one is the weed guy? But when there's the fucking sticker on there saying Uber, honestly, I think it's a gap in the market.
There's definitely going to be like a Just Eat theme, like of different weed. Do you know what I mean? There's absolutely just. We'll come back to it. We'll come back. We circle back.
There was a moment last
We're not
time
waiting
and
enough.
you were like, I'm going to come up with a joke. I can't remember what it was for, but you were like, come back to the end and I'll come up with that joke.
Did we never come back to it?
We never came back to it.
Well, you know what? I'm just going to write it down to come up with a weed pun. I bet we'll forget as well because I'll just forget to.
We probably will.
Weed pun.
Should I move on to the next?
Absolutely. I think everything about like weed being legalized has already been said. Do you know what I mean? There's not a lot that we can add to the conversation at this point.
No.
It's obviously a good thing.
No,
Anyone who says otherwise is stuck in their fucking 21st century historic way of thinking. Stupid people.
For you.
Oh,
gynecologist
this makes me smile every time I hear it.
I'll play again.
Here's one for you.
No one's gonna like that soundbite anymore. I think the music in the background makes it as well. A gynecologist.
Yes.
Gynecologists, multiple.
Oh my.
Warn
Gynecology guy.
Gynecology guy. Yeah, that rings off the tongue. Warns against women using vacuums to end their periods early.
Oh my. Wait.
Oh my.
Now that.
Oh god. God, that is some good comedy.
Thank you.
That is some good comedy.
It's like I feel like it makes it like one of those. Oh, you're listening to 99 FM in the morning. We've got Sun with us here, and he's gonna.
I'm gonna say some things, some hot takes, some crunchy opinions.
Yeah. Now,
what was to end their periods? Is that how it works? Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. As an individual who does not, yes, we exist. No, that was a joke because I hate people
but
who say
despite
that.
no one knowing about it, God.
But as an individual who does not have periods, I know very little about periods. I know like what I am told by my girlfriend, but
does she sit you down often and say, let us discuss my period?
she hates them more than anything. She like suffers them worse than most girls, I feel, because like I've heard, I don't know if this is true again, but I've heard that if you're on the pill, that periods are often like not as bad as they are if you're not on the pill, and Amy Sands doesn't take the pill. So I don't know that's the thing. But anyway, I don't biologically I know absolutely nothing about them. So is there just an amount of blood that needs to come out?
So it's like the line. I mean, obviously, I am qualified to talk about this.
Yes, of course.
I actually do my PhD in this, but it's my understanding.
Do you know what the world needs? More men talking about women's bodies.
Yes,
and
I agree.
we are here for you.
I don't have any professional, readings in this, but I can tell you what I reckon. Basically, there's like the lining, and the lining will slowly dissipate. This is what basically I read from the article, and come down and out.
Nice.
Delicious. And zesty. And yeah, people are just going, well, I'll shove a fucking Hoover up there. Actually, sorry, vacuum cleaner. Other vacuum cleaners are available.
You can use a Henry Hoover.
Yes, if you so wish. And
There's
yeah,
definitely
ending that period early, but the gynecologists say this is a terrible idea. This is at 1,000 times the rate that it should happen. Wow. You will suck more than just your period blood out. If you do this, please do not do this.
Honestly, I must say
3 women
that
got hospitalised for it. It's genuinely really bad, apparently.
Honestly, I must say that I'm shocked that you think the good ideas are just staring you right in the face, and then.
To be fair, when I told that to you, I could see the look in your eyes of like, why didn't I think of this? There's a gap in the market here.
Literally,
yeah, I mean, well, I think to be fair,
I must say that's a. Good on the women for thinking outside the box. Like I very much endorse that type of thinking. Like,
no,
but
it's like when there's really specific warnings on things that should seem obvious, and it's kind of like I feel like some of these things maybe they should just be like kind of natural selection, like kicking in. Like yes, when you look on the back of your toaster, it's like do not bathe with this plugged in. Do you know what I mean? Like I can't think.
I don't think natural selection is even a thing anymore, isn't it? There's
certainly not with humans.
There's definitely an argument that we are devolving now.
Maybe unless apart from like able to get like a girlfriend or someone who wants to have children with you.
Yes.
Like because I guess if you're like a weirdo and no one likes
well,
you.
I suppose even then now you can go to a sperm bank if you're a woman. You can adopt if you I don't know. Well, no, but that's not your DNA.
Pay a surrogate mother.
That's what I meant to say. Yes.
I was speaking of surrogate mothers. I saw this meme the other day, and it was about Kanye West's kids. And did you know that Kanye's got 4 kids now?
Yeah, no, I had this exact reaction the other day. I read that like Kim Kardashian has a baby, but it was a surrogate baby.
Yeah, well, she had a couple.
What's it called? I don't know. There's
Northwest, where we live, Saint. There's Blue Ivy. And
isn't Blue Ivy Beyonce?
Oh, maybe Blue Ivy is Beyonce. Shit. Other rappers.
Other rapper babies are available. There's North. There's Saint.
Yeah, there's North Saint. There's Chicago.
Is Chicago? Is Chicago one?
Yeah, Chicago is
okay,
one.
And what's the new one? What's the new one called?
The new one. You heard that new Yeezy baby?
This next baby, though. This next baby. Poopity scoop.
Oh,
scoop.
After your favourite Bible chapter, Psalm.
Leviticus.
Psalm West.
What is it?
Psalm West.
Oh, Psalm West. Oh, yeah. Right. Oh, yeah. Psalm.
Psalm.
I love it.
That was my...
Psalm. No. That's not the real
Let
name,
me get
is it?
a Pazam up in here.
That's
yeah.
not the real.
No, that's the real name. Yeah, no, and I forgot it until then. But yeah, no, I did. I googled
Is
this
it
yesterday.
Kardashian West or is it just West?
It's no Saint West, Northwest,
Song
Chicago West, and
Is it
Song
just
West.
me who thinks that
North.
North is actually like an okay name?
Yeah, but with West it
But-
becomes bad. Yeah.
No, I think that's really good. It's
Yeah.
like in How I Met Your Mother when they were like wanted to make the middle name wait for it. Do you know
No,
what I mean?
I have this.
I definitely want to do that to my kid. I want to give it a stupid name.
With me and Danny Rushton,
Yeah.
we want to have what I want to have. She doesn't like her last name. I don't like my last name.
I've heard this story a
It
thousand
has.
times, but
I'm telling you,
the
anyway.
people haven't.
And
Yeah.
I would appreciate if you pretended to actually
I'm
interested.
so
Thank you,
sorry.
sir. And
Wait, you don't like your last name?
never cared for it.
Oh my god.
Anyway, sorry, I digress. And we've trying to come up with a new one. I want a silly one. So originally, I just wanted question mark.
Yeah, of
and
course.
then people would be like, Jums.
I love how like your real name isn't actually Jums as well. You'd have to change that as well. You'd have to
well,
be like.
whilst I'm changing
Jums.
my name, might as well.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So
yeah.
Jums, what did you come up with for your silly last
What we
name?
agreed on was because we both like cucumber. One was cucumber, and they spelled
Incredible. Just phenomenal.
Q-U-E-U-E-C-O-M-B-R-E with an accent on the end, and then
Cucumber.
but then
I love that so much.
And then you've got the perfect excuse if anyone like goes like oh, like that's a funny name. Be like, excuse me, I'm Bulgarian, or like
just be like, my father built this country. He was part of the Trumpington
He
Cucumbres.
was in the war. yeah.
Yes.
But Danny Rushton's like, can we have our last name be Frank? That's our dog's name.
Oh, that's so
And I'm like,
stupid.
if our last name's
Danny
gonna be
Rushton, get your head out your ass. That's stupid. Fucking hell, Danny Rushton. Oh my.
I agree.
But Cucumber is flawless. I love
And
that.
she agreed
And I
to
can't
that
wait
at
for.
one point in
I
time,
just
but-
can't wait for everybody like to do that thing where like they don't know whether it's a joke or not, and they're like they want to laugh, but they're not laughing. They'll
Yeah.
be like,
Oh, that's great.
Cucumber. Oh,
Cucumber.
it's a good name.
Excuse me, are you laughing at my heritage? Yeah, no, that'd be.
Yes, Cucumber.
You're not pronouncing it right.
I would love that.
So,
See,
yeah,
I'd have no imagination when it comes to stuff like that. If I was going to go for another name, I would have just called myself like fucking Skywalker or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
That's not. Yeah, that's not. But I just want something funny. I just want something that like. I don't know,
Yeah.
that I can be like, I'm
You live
Mr.
for the
this.
comedy, I love it, do you know what I mean?
I just think that would be.
I feel like
And I think that names are stupid and like last
I
names. And
agree.
I just think
Slave
it's this whole
names.
thing, and I just think it's.
it reminds me of in X-Men 2 or 3, I can't remember which one, sorry.
That's
Where
alright, don't worry about it.
Mystique is held captive and they're like Raven Darkholme and she's like, I don't answer to my slave name. Do you know what I mean? And she's like, and they're like, oh, you wanted to call you Mystique? And I like that, do you know what I mean? But also like, have you seen the film Lady Bird as well? I'm sorry, I'm just tangenting.
No,
Is there a
that's okay.
tangent button? Do you have a
I've
tangent button?
got a. I've got that.
No.
How's that?
I mean, it works. There's that film's about like she calls herself Lady Bird, the girl. She's like 18 or something
That's a good age.
because she was angry at her mum and she didn't want to keep the name that her mum gave her. But then at the end of the film, spoilers, it all comes to like ends up liking her mum and she's like, I'm gonna call myself whatever her fucking name was.
Whatever
again,
my
you know
name
what
is,
I mean?
yeah.
So
I didn't
I don't know
know
why I mentioned that. We were on the topic and I thought I've seen a film. Why don't
That's
I mention
fair.
that I've seen a film? Do you know what I mean?
Well, there's no need to brag so much.
Yeah,
you
do you
know
know,
what I
I've
mean?
actually seen more than
So
one film.
basically, women.
Yeah,
stop
what are we
putting
talking about?
women putting
we
vacuums up themselves to end their periods early, and not to do that. Don't
Not
do
a
that.
good idea.
Do not try this at home.
That is not Plum certified.
It's
at
not.
all.
It's
No.
not on. It's not okay. Anyway,
I love
digress.
how we were like, we're gonna get through these quickly, but do you know what I mean?
Well, there's only two more.
Only 2 more. Oh my god, we are gonna get through these quickly.
Here's one for you.
Nice. I love it.
Russia to make its own show about Chernobyl that implicates the US.
I love that.
It's
That's
their fault.
my favorite meme at the moment. Is have you seen that one that's like people and it's like asking for season 2 of Chernobyl and it's just Ukraine and Russia just going.
No, I've not seen that, but that's a funny meme. I
That's a
like
funny
it.
meme.
I enjoy it.
Yeah. As you said, memes are funnier when you describe them. Do you know what I mean?
No, I think it's all in delivery. To be fair, if you deliver a meme correctly, describing it, you know, you can do it because it is. You know, memes are just jokes. Do you know what I mean?
And of course,
whilst we're on Chernobyl, you know,
my
obviously
delivery is flawless.
of course. I mean, I
Always.
never questioned delivery. So, And you know, I said how the Chernobyl's getting like a boost of tourism, and there's this wave of Instagram influencers, like you know, half topless taking pictures there, and it's kind of like, you know, I don't want to say like people should be able to take pictures of themselves doing whatever they want wherever they want, but it kind of it devalues the historical lesson or something. I feel like it's kind of like going to like Auschwitz and, you know, like getting your tits out, like
it's absolutely ridiculous. It's not appropriate.
But,
yeah. There's I'm going to mention another film. Like, have you seen The History Boys?
No. Oh, no, but I knew that people did it in English.
They bring up this topic a lot. Like, it's when you go to Auschwitz, do you take like a packed lunch? Do you smile? Do you take photos? Do you know what I mean? Nothing at all is appropriate. Do you know what I mean? And like,
Auschwitz is absolutely a step up, to be fair. Like.
Yeah, obviously, like that's like one of the low points of humanity.
Like,
do you know what I mean?
Point,
Oh no, I completely agree. Like, I always exaggerate to make a point. Do you know what I mean? I've completely agree. If your argument does not end up in Hitler, then honestly, have you even made your point at all? No, I don't think you have.
No, you haven't.
No, but I completely agree. It's exactly the same as it's another one of these. Do you remember when in Dubrovnik in Croatia, where they filmed King's Landing there, and suddenly all the white girls in the world were just like, I've always wanted to go to Croatia.
Do they have a Starbucks?
Like, to be fair, Croatia is like one of the most beautiful places in the world. It's like all coast, but nobody realised that until. But
then I didn't think that's so bad. When people didn't die and it's not
I completely agree. I'm just I'm making a separate point. We'll come back to the actual point.
Oh, okay. I'm excited.
Yeah, and I've forgotten the point.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Now,
what have I done?
Yeah, it's completely like it becomes not a historical site or a cultural site anymore. It just becomes that like a place that's
some
cool
background
to go.
for your
do you know what I mean?
photo,
and I'm over it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I'm up around.
It's very much the same thing.
And under.
Do you remember that point you were making about how when people go to the zoo and just upload pictures of animals to Facebook?
It's like if you want a picture of a fucking cheetah, do you know what you do?
Literally on Google a picture of a cheetah,
and someone's got a better shot than you, I guarantee it.
I feel like that's the same with Chernobyl now as well. People are just uploading pictures of like hospital beds and like dolls and shit.
People
and just like,
you know,
I'll fucking Google that if I want to see that.
You know, photographers have been, you know, doing that for years.
Literally. And I'm just like, I wouldn't mind people going and like having a great time. I'm all for having a great time. If you don't think you're,
it's one of my favorite things to do.
They think the Instagram influencers especially just. They go and then they make this big long Instagram post of just like, honestly, I've seen some things. I am now the most cultured person in this side of the Mississippi. Do you know what I mean?
And most of the time, they are.
And no, literally, and it's after watching a fucking TV show that's the top on IMDb. Do you know what I mean? Literally, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
That's referring to the reactor at Chernobyl. It's very hard.
I like it.
But
actually, saying all that after that angriness, I would love to go to Chernobyl.
Oh, yeah, I want to go for years, but I don't think I'd take like an edgy picture of me like pondering like
100%,
or like, you know, reacting to, you know, like some like doll toy or like the abandoned fairground and me being like, do you know what I mean? It would not be the place I would take the picture for my album cover, let me say that, unless my album is a Chernobyl themed concept album.
Wow.
In which case...
Somebody written that? I bet somebody's definitely got that in the pipeline right now.
Yeah,
like now's the time of
yeah, definitely,
Okay.
Onward! So our final headline.
Wait. Here's one for you.
Thank you, sir.
It's okay.
Hunter defends shooting rare giraffe, saying it was delicious. So there's this woman.
This is. Should I give you my opinion on that? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Here's one for you.
Here's one for you.
I mean, obviously that is stupid. Do you know what I mean? Like rare giraffe, but like I don't know. Again, it's a lot of people sharing the article and claiming the moral victory points of like, oh, I shared this article, I animal welfare, but nobody's actually doing anything to. And also,
but then there's only so much you can do on the day to day. I think like when, you know, someone. I mean, I think, you know. I mean, I'm not really that kind of person. It's like, you know, I love all animals, you know, I eat meat and stuff, and, you know, I feel like I can't really preach, but I don't know, there's something so gigantic and majestic about a giraffe where I don't think there could ever be a part of me that's like, you see that fucking giant thing that's also apparently like rare. I don't know if rare means like endangered. I'm not sure what rare entails. I don't think I'd just go, do you know what, I'm going to fucking eat that. But at the same time,
I know
if someone
put
a giraffe in front of me and was like, this giraffe has been cooked, do you want to try it? Fuck yes, I'm trying giraffe.
Oh,
100%,
you know what I mean? But it comes down to as well that like is the moral dilemmas of is eating a rare giraffe worse than eating a cow or a pig? Do you know what I mean? Is that
probably not?
But I don't know.
But like,
I don't know.
But I just think that was a pretty, witty retort. It was, and she also said,
absolutely, yeah. Like credit for her.
So she killed this giraffe, and she's like posing with it like that, like I killed this giraffe.
No,
that's the one thing that made me a bit like, oh fuck this woman.
Yeah, but I feel like most people who eat meat eat it. Well, not most people. A lot of people who now eat meat eat it knowing that like. I don't know, maybe not. It's not wrong, but like, it's not cool thing to kill.
You go to the countryside, you make eye contact with a pig or a cow, and you feel a bit bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a weird one. It's a grey area again because not necessarily the giraffe, but definitely eating meat because like. One thing I will say is that not eating meat does not make you a more moral eater. And I've made this point on the podcast time and time again, and I'll make it briefly once more. That like my biggest thing for if I was ever to be a vegetarian or a vegan would just be for the planet rather than the animals themselves, because I love animals, but like that would be my primary concern. Yeah. And there are good ways to eat responsibly for the environment whilst not being vegetarian or vegan. Yeah. And I'll say it again, almond milk is far worse for the environment than a lot of
other milk.
Than a lot of
other
regular
milks which
milk.
are available.
Yeah, so but I won't go into it anymore now because
do you know what? I quite like cows. They're quite cute. But do you know what? I fucking love them way more than that. A fucking cheeseburger or a steak or something. Do you know what I mean? So that's just the way that us as a culture have been raised, and that's not my fault. And America.
I won't allow people saying that like we weren't born to eat meat because we have fucking incisors. Do you know what I mean? Like we are born to be omnivores. Yeah. Like whether we know better now is another debate completely.
No, we
have evolved to eat.
It's true.
Meat. Do you know what I mean?
It's true. And I've evolved throughout my life eating meat. So
so it's not as black and white as people posting on Instagram saying, "Wow, what have you done for the planet today? I'm a vegan." Do you know what I mean?
Every day I wake up and I'm a vegan, and the planet just.
I plant a tree. Wow,
that'd be funny.
So,
that's Pummies that's did it.
Oh my god, there was some for you.
It took us like half an hour.
Half an hour? We've been talking for half an hour.
Oh, we could just
I suppose when you're as interesting as we are, do you know what I mean? Like, it just flies by.
One thing I was going to say, because we were talking about the weed laws.
Yeah.
And I just watched that Murder Mountain documentary.
Of course.
That one where there was loads of people in a mountain
growing
weed.
Mountain.
No, it started with loads of hippies going to a mountain and just living their best life, away from the man. Because fuck the man, they're all naked. They're like building their houses with lumber, and these old pictures of them like walking around naked just looks like the life to live. And then they're like, we just want to grow what we can live on. And of course, the hippies, what do we need? Marijuana.
Sorry, I didn't realise you were asking me that question.
It's okay.
I was enjoying your monologue and I was ready for the...
It's okay. No, it's alright. So then, obviously, like, they grew loads of weed, started making money, and then, like, Reagan came in and, took all these hippies out, and then, and then it started being, like, instead of hippies growing weed on the mountain, it started being, like, gangsters growing, people with, like, baseball caps instead of people with, like, flower, like, necklaces. And then it just became basically an all-out war on this mountain until and it's still really...
Is this on Netflix?
Yeah.
I have seen the trailer for this.
Yeah, and it's like really like, lots of people. I think there's like a ridiculous amount of people have gone missing because there's no police presence, so they get in a disagreement and they just like put someone in the back of their trunk or whatever.
Shit, that's so heavy.
From what I heard, that's like one of the main reasons that weed got legalized is because there's such this like, it's almost like a militia over it and like gangs and stuff just over weed on a mountain somewhere, and by legalizing it, the price of weed is like that down, and like so they're kind of like slowly eliminating these people through that. And just
my god, that's so heavy. No, literally, like
so maybe if we had people shooting people over weed, over 10 bags, we'd have weed too.
I just think it's ridiculous, the stigma that still surrounds it, like, in that sense, do you know what I mean? Like,
it is definitely getting a lot better. Like, you can scroll through, you know, your mum's Facebook and she shared a video of Nan smoking weed and stuff, do you know what I mean? Whereas, like, I feel like 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah, I just mean in the sense that, like in obviously the workplace isn't the best example, but, like, people in work have, like, 7 cups of coffee a day. Coffee is a stimulant. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it's
a drug.
A step down from cocaine, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
literally. So I just don't understand how people, like, it's because obviously I know why it is. It's because we've been brought up thinking that been having it rammed into us that the law is in line with morality. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which it absolutely could not be further from the truth.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I would just.
Oh, there's that.
Sorry, that was
There's that.
Love it. I can't remember what I was saying because
I'm sorry, I won't distract you with further.
But no, literally,
like
coffee,
and yet they'll
everything's
be
good.
like
They'll go
prescribed
home,
on,
they'll have a couple of glasses of wine.
Yeah.
They'll be like, "Oh, this is relaxing me. I feel much more sedated now." And like they'll hate on people who, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I does not comprehend in my mind. I can't. You know,
So,
everything
I
is
am
good.
excited for when weed is legalized. We should do a special plum chutney, and we'll smoke some.
It'll be a great day
because we're doing plum chutney until the end of time.
Until the end of time.
Oh, something very exciting happened.
Oh my god!
But do you want to talk about anything? I don't want to.
I have a few things, but I want to know what the most exciting thing that's ever happened this week was.
I've already mentioned it to you.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
And everyone.
Wait, build it up. Is there a button for a build up?
I only have the Soviet national anthem. I mean, it's pretty hot.
It's a hot take. And finally,
Here's one for you.
nice.
Here's one for you.
Here's a trailer.
The new Animal Crossing got announced.
Oh
and for those
my
of you who do not
god!
know, I have been waiting for this moment for years. It's been about
Honestly,
8 years since the last mainline Animal Crossing game.
This game's gonna make me buy a Switch.
And just have you seen this trailer yet?
You know what? I don't know if I have.
Oh my god, I'm excited for you to see it because oh my god.
Oh, I have seen it. I have.
Oh,
Just because you sent it to me, but that's it. Oh
and it's just that you're on an island. There's so many bits of information we've got from this like trailer alone. Like,
did you mention Animal Crossing because Animal Crossing is also a drug? Honestly,
I love Animal
Crossing. Is there anything more relaxing in the world than an hour on Animal Crossing? Literally nothing.
And it's so addictive as well.
The most
so there's crafting in it, which is like. You can't put down trees anymore, you gather materials and then build them. You can place furniture outside, fucking hell. There's long sleeve shirts on villages, people are going ape shit over that. Whoa, what's that watering can thing? What can you make out of that?
I think it's a watering can.
Well, what does it do? I'm very excited.
Oh my god.
You can dig up a tree.
Oh, you roll snowballs.
You roll snowballs. It's cold outside. It is cold outside in the winter. You can make paths. What the fuck? Did you just talk the top of the flower?
It's a flower tree. How are there so many people?
No,
you know what?
I'm gonna because it's 8 you can play up to 8 people at the same time, and I will point out.
I'm buying a Switch just
do you
for
see this feed? Oh, also you can be black in this game, which is a first.
Oh my god!
You couldn't be black in previous
What?
games. But more importantly, this woman is wearing a backpack.
Yes.
Famously in Animal Crossing, one of our many gripes with it.
Yes.
No, many gripes, but the things that could just improve our life so much is your inventory space. And if you can put things in that backpack, oh my god, that's good. That's gonna be big.
That's gonna be. Oh my god. They all look so happy.
It's a new horizon.
Oh my god, March 2020. Oh, that's ages away.
That's
ages away.
So it is a bit of a delay. But the thing is, we hadn't seen any gameplay. We didn't know the title. Yeah. We had no idea about anything other than the game, other than there was an Animal Crossing logo and it said 2019. That was the only information we had. So we knew that every other game coming up this year has basically had a trailer or a title or much more than that. So we were at least, if it was coming out this year, I was thinking December time anyway. Ooh. So 3 months, it's really not that bad. I've got a counter on my phone and it reads 281 days.
When's the new Pokemon due out? When Sword and Shield due out?
November the 15th.
Oh, I'm going to buy a Switch for that and I will play Animal Crossing.
There's lots of controversy with that. People are very annoyed at many things.
Why? What's
They're
happened?
not supporting all the Pokemon anymore.
What do you mean, not
they've
spoiled,
cut some
though?
out because they were saying we knew that this was
like
only...
from the older games.
I think they'll probably keep most of the first gen in, I imagine, because it's not the first gen.
When you say
people are
that, do you mean like because you can't catch all the Pokemon in game in all the games anyway, can you?
just like
Do you mean trading in and stuff?
So trading, battling, they do not exist on this game.
Trading and battling don't exist.
No, trading and battling exist, but these Pokemon do not exist on the game, so I don't think you could cross.
Oh,
I'm
so
not
you
sure.
can only play with the Pokemon that you can catch in game.
Yes, I believe so.
Oh,
I think you
shit.
can trade. You can trade with people still, because obviously it's a big part of Pokemon.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if there's like there might be cross game
Oh,
trading.
but if there's a
only-
Pokemon, say Dugong isn't in this game, you can't trade
battle,
him
with
in.
him,
Oh shit,
yeah.
really?
So people are
That's
very
a
annoyed
shame.
about
I
that.
love
They
Dugong.
got rid of mega evolutions. And
I was
people-
never that big into.
I
it,
was never that
I
big
must
into it, but the
say.
people who were like hardcore. I'm honestly, it's all
Yeah.
things that I read, and I'm not arsed at all
dunno.
because
Like,
it looks fun. But
as not a hardcore player, as somebody who enjoys it casually, like
I always thought
I'm
mega
not-
evolutions was stupid. And I
yeah,
hated them.
like, and it was too much effort, like trying to pick which one I was gonna. Do you know what I mean?
do it
And like,
once, and it was a waste of
and
time.
it had to think, and I just. Maybe that's just lazy of me,
I mean,
and
I
I
think-
do completely understand that is probably a step down for like.
Yeah.
But are they not introducing a new feature instead
Yeah,
of Mega
like they go
Evolutions?
giant randomly,
Oh,
so it's
really?
kind of different. But there's just so many
I
like.
don't know if that sounds good.
It kind of looks epic, but I don't know. Like it just looks like there's
Yeah.
a Pokemon the size of the stadium.
I-
I was
I-
thinking in this world it would really solve the food crisis. Like,
I
do you know what
kind
I mean?
of I kind of miss just like the good old days where it was just this.
Yeah,
Do you remember like do you know the worst culprit of overcomplicating everything was Yu-Gi-Oh? Do you remember Yu-Gi-Oh was once so beautiful. It was fucking Dark Magician,
Pristine,
attack
yeah.
fucking Time Wizard, and
Hey Yogi,
And
you
then-
want to play Duel Masters?
and then they introduced like XYZ and what was the grey one?
Ixie, which is the grey one? Which you mean the grey one?
The grey type of thing. Like
There was
it wasn't-
pendulum summoning.
No, I'm going to get to
That-
that.
oh,
But
right,
like,
okay.
there was
There-
XYZ and there was something else.
Uh,
I can't remember. Do you know who would know? Jack Fitzpatrick
He
would
would
know.
know,
Love
he
you,
would
Jack
know.
Fitzpatrick.
Classic Jack
But,
Fitzpatrick. Other people would that also know
Are
are
available.
available.
But yeah, and that just confused it a bit more for me. And there was spell speeds and shit. And
Yeah.
then they introduced the pendulum thing, which is just another unnecessary thing that maybe people asked for it. I
Well,
don't know.
the
But I
thing
just-
is with this is it's just what you've got cards to sell. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and the way to sell
yeah,
cards
of
is
course.
this is the new meta. Do you know what I mean? You need to buy this if you want to play the card game. So
Yeah.
I learned Yu-Gi-Oh for about a year, and I had fun with Yu-Gi-Oh for about a year. But then the next
Yeah.
fucking thing came out, and I'm like, do you know what? I'm not spending another fucking £200.
Absolutely. And Yu-Gi-Oh, more than anything else in the world, probably is pay to win in the sense
Yeah.
that like if you buy the best cards, you win.
But
I've
we should
heard
have
that,
we should assemble our Yu-Gi-Oh decks and
oh,
have like a little
absolutely.
duel. At
I
some
would
point.
love
That'd
that.
be fun.
No, I don't have it.
Yeah.
I sold it to an individual who will remain nameless.
Well,
I sold a quality deck for about £10 about 4 years ago now. No, it must be more than that. Like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I don't know.
one of those
And,
times.
And we bumped into him in in town recently, and we were sat in the middle of Brewdog, and he just whipped out our Yu-Gi-Oh decks, and we just started dueling in the middle of Brewdog, and I must say, great, loved it.
Great.
Great.
Incredible.
But
I love how he had it on him, just ready,
no, literally,
raring to go.
apparently
I
he was.
knew this. one.
Apparently he was like off to sell some cards, and I was like, "You were going to sell some of
Oh,
my cards."
that's
and,
controversial.
that
Well,
didn't
we
sit
should.
easily.
We should. I mean, I've got some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. We'll have a Yu-Gi-Oh duel at some point, and you can just
Should we
play.
do it on the podcast?
Of
Oh,
course,
it'll be
of course.
phenomenal. Anybody who doesn't understand Yu-Gi-Oh, then
Just
what
go.
are
Maybe
you
we
doing?
could do it as
Why
a
are you
special-
watching?
We
Turn
could
around.
do it as like a side thing. Like I want to start doing some. So once we start taking
Yeah,
Plum Chutney
absolutely.
live, I want to start doing some live streams. Where
And
we
you know
post
what? It's
other
not going to
stuff
be
and do
long
some
now.
stuff.
This is our 9th episode,
Yeah,
as
so
we were
I
saying.
think next week we might try and aim for live Thursdays at 7. I think I'm aiming for.
Oh my goodness!
Potentially.
Thursdays at
Um,
7.
Everything might go wrong and it might not be live. It will still be on YouTube. Do not worry. I can see you threaten there. You're like, what if I can't watch it live? I can't miss.
What if
Plum
you're
Chutney,
busy?
you know? And I want to get it on Spotify at some point, but we'll
Yeah.
work on that.
You know what I mean? These are all just minor things that like
Minor things.
minor things.
Minor things.
But no, I'm very excited. I'm gonna over the next week. I'm gonna clean up my language a bit. Do you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah,
like,
yeah.
like I'm gonna get somebody to punch me if I say like cunt.
I mean, I think cunt's okay.
Yeah,
I like
just no racist or homophobic or prejudiced
well, I feel
slurs.
like the English language, it's all just words, it's all just letters in a,
James,
in
you know
a
what?
sequence.
I don't think you're wrong about that. I think you're
you know
onto
what?
something there.
I think a couple people might agree with me on that.
Very good.
Very
good.
But it's always the tone and the context.
Of course,
is what
of course.
matters.
Context is,
everything.
as they say, key. Absolutely.
Sorry, that's just given me this sudden wave. I've had this song stuck in my head. You're gonna know it.
I'm gonna know it.
And I pride myself to be someone that, I hear a pop song on the radio.
You don't know it.
No, I'm not saying that. But if I hear a pop song on the radio, I hear the chorus, and usually I can understand the metaphor, what they're talking about.
I'm excited for this. I'm very excited. Yeah.
But there's that song that goes, I've got a brand new pair of roller skates. You've got a brand new key.
What song is this?
Have you not heard that song? I've got a brand new.
Who sings this song?
I don't know who sings this song.
It's
not a new pop song. It's an old song. No, it's like an old country song.
I've got a brand new pair of roller skates. I feel I've got a brand new combine.
It's the same tune as that.
Okay, cool.
But the lyrics are, I've got a brand new pair of roller skates.
Yeah.
You've got a brand new key.
Okay. Is there any more that I need to know before I figure this out?
Hold on. We'll get it up because this has been driving me insane.
I've got a brand new pair of roller skates. You've got okay. Well, off the top of my head, don't get any more up because I want to figure out the metaphor.
Well, I'm just going to try and get the lyrics.
Okay.
Lyrics dot fandom. I don't think that'll help.
Oh, I've thought of it. I've got it.
Oh, you got it.
Are you ready? As a genius.
Yeah,
Okay. So I've got a brand new pair of roller skates. Roller skates is an ironic form of transportation for young people.
That is an ironic form of transportation.
For younger people. Do you know what I mean? So she's young. She's enjoying. She's vibrant. She's living her best life. He's got a brand new key. He's just got a new house. He's got a mortgage. He's older. Do you know what I mean? She's very much trying to stay in her youthful ways, I'm going to roll around on roller skates, I'm going to do things that the young people do, I'm going to go to the club. You're just going to stay in your house with your key and your mortgage, and you're going to be in...
After looking up the lyrics, that does make a little more sense, because I think we should get them to try and unsay it, and then he goes, I rode my bike, I roller skate, don't drive no car.
And look at the first one, I rode my bike past your window last night. Thank you. I should, do you know what I mean?
You should actually work for Genius.
Do you know what I mean? Literally, honestly.
Okay, well that's good. Honestly, that just been racking my brain, and I was like, what? I'm thinking pair of roller skates.
All you needed was...
What are you doing with those two things? You know what I mean?
Somebody who understands depth and nuance and
complexity.
Metaphors.
I mean, this is a song with about 10 lyrics to it, so yeah, I agree. But thank you.
I'm buzzing about that. Can we make that a thing? Oh my. Fuck the law, they can eat my dick. I love it. Beautiful. But now I'm very proud of that.
No, I'm quite proud of that too.
What we wanted to talk about, because you've been watching a lot of Putin documentaries haven't you? A lot of Vladimir Putin.
I have.
And that raised do you know what I mean? Just talk about them for a minute.
Yeah.
Talk about them for a minute, and that'll ease into next.
Obviously he's quite
he is, it's true.
He's quite vague, and the guy will be like going, us in the US, we saw this war and saw lots of, Russian tanks coming in and civilians screaming and, crying and mothers being ripped away from their children and horrible sadness and nightmares.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Putin? And he's like, oh, that wasn't me. That was that other guy. And the interview was just like, oh, you.
That reminded me of that bit in Love Actually when the Prime Minister, played by Hugh Grant, everybody's like, you're a bit rubbish, and he goes, it's not me, it's my cabinet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just like that. But yeah, no, he's like, constant, and they're like, so, remember when you remember quite fondly when he stepped down as president, became prime minister, and set his close ally friend as president, who obviously was not a puppet and had his own independent thoughts. And he was like, well, he had many, he said many things that I didn't agree with. And
other Russian dictators are available.
It's just really like I'm sure there are some things that we know as fact about Russia, which they're probably not that heinous in that way. But Russia do some questionable shit. You're not allowed to protest in their country, and there's really some really bad human rights issues there and stuff. But every time he's just kind of like, Russia's a great place, he was like, he made a joke about women at one point, and he was, people were like, so do you ever have like bad days? And he was like, I don't have bad days because I'm not a woman. And then the guy was like,
to be fair, I don't think that's not, I don't blame Putin personally for that. I just blame centuries of male toxic masculinity, as it were.
Yeah,
you know what
and
I mean?
feel like the masculinity is quite a key thing in Russian culture from what I can
but
gather.
I agree completely. Like a lot of the things that we take as gospel when it comes to Russia are very heavily probably biased by the Western viewpoint and like wanting to like post Cold War as well. Do you know what I mean? We're still in this mindset of like Russia is the enemy. But also, as I was saying to you, like anybody who has to say I'm not a dictator is often a dictator.
He did make an interesting point. At one point, he went, Russia's been, a monarchy for like, however many years, and then what is it, 1917? 17, yeah. Oh, I was proud of
Very good,
right.
James. Very good.
Thank you. And he was saying, obviously, he had the Soviet Revolution, and then, we had a big dictatorship then, and now we've got this. And he was like, democracy takes time, this is our first democracy. Takes you a while to figure it out, sort of thing. And I was like,
it's not wrong.
That's true.
But I mean, that if you're just going to use that as an excuse, but this is the point I wanted to make.
Go on.
That democracy is just a myth, really, isn't it? Like
it is. It's whoever,
hot take button.
Oh, there's that. There's that.
I was watching an interview with what's that socialist guy called Noam Chomsky? Him, and he was saying about how Bernie Sanders was the first person to get this far in like the presidential campaign without huge monetary backing behind him and really like millions and millions of funding behind his whole campaign and stuff. So it is whoever throws the most fucking money at the wall usually turns out on top. Do you know what I mean? Whether that's by your advertising, your propaganda light, as I like to call it.
And there's, like, going back to Russia again, like people will show you evidence of like the election rigging, and there is a lot of evidence of clear election rigging, but where is the line between, like, is overspent? Like, take the Brexit things when the Brexit campaign clearly broke the financial laws and overspent and just told flat out lies and their thingy. Like, is that election rigging? Do you know what I mean? Does that count? Just because it's not stuff in the ballot with like extra X's, is it? Where's the line between election rigging and stuff?
And I think that's why it's so tricky. Like, Boris was going to go to court for that, but then he can just go, well, technically I didn't lie, I just kind of said what I thought of. Do you know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, and that's the problem with politics as well, is a lot of the time it's kind of opinion. Do you know what I mean? So it's very hard to enforce a...
Absolutely. One of the biggest like flaws I would say when it comes to democracy, not necessarily why it doesn't work, but one of the biggest flaws is that human nature in general, in that we all think we know everything, but in reality none of us know anything at all. Do you know what I mean?
From us.
Obviously. That goes without saying. That's ridiculous. That's why you come to Plum Chutney to learn the correct opinions. Okay. Yeah. But we all think we know everything, but in reality we know nothing. So when we hear like when the majority of people hear the statistics and everything, like, who's got the time in the day to go and fact check every single thing that you hear? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, the Brexit the people vote based on emotions, and that is an inherent thing, an inherent flaw with democracy. Like, not anybody understands the complex workings of the economic system of capitalism. Do you know what I mean?
No, and unlike ourselves.
Yeah, of course. and so it's so hard to vote based on that. And like the best example of this, of people voting emotively, is the European elections just gone. The Brexit Party did the best.
Of course they did.
They don't have a fucking manifesto.
Yeah. Other than they've got a manifesto, it's one word. It's just racism.
they literally don't have policies. They said they were going to figure out their policies after Brexit. Anybody who voted for the Brexit Party, you're a fucking twat. Literally, fucking go and look at yourself in the mirror now. I am embarrassed.
Honestly, I just want to say, I feel like Plum Chutney's target demographic. I must say, if you are watching Plum Chutney, you've made it this far and you're still enjoying it, you're probably not a Brexit either, I must say.
The podcast that has played the Soviet national anthem.
I was going to say, we get a lot of this. Do you know what I mean? So it's just kind of like... so, how do we install our Soviet regime?
Honestly, Jim, I mean, we just get Nigel Farage to do it. Honestly, all it takes...
He's man of the people.
All it takes is First thing you need.
Charisma.
A charismatic individual, a very charismatic individual.
You're quite charismatic.
Thank you. Say what you will about Hitler, say what you will about Farage. They are very charismatic individuals. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so that's all you need. Then you need a Step two. You need an emergency, or a crisis.
Brexit.
A crisis. Yes, an emergency or a crisis. Something's bad. People turn to the extremes in this.
I feel like you need a catchy catchphrase.
That's
what I would want. If I was starting a revolution, I'd want a catchphrase.
Absolutely, but like the weed joke, we will come back to that later. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Step 3, you need to undermine the opposition. So Hitler did this by setting fire to the Reichstag and framing the communists for doing so. How we would do it, I don't know. How would we undermine Farage and the Brexiteers?
If you've got any ideas for a revolution,
I don't know.
Also,
well,
maybe
we could.
I feel like in today's world, I don't think a violent revolution is possible.
Yeah, that's very true.
I feel like we'd really have to just rise up, and I feel like if you're doing a peaceful revolution, it's got to be a strong one. Do you know what I mean? We need everyone.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, peaceful revolutions would work. Just look at the Extinction Rebellion, people who have just successfully closed down London. I mean, I say it worked. All that came out of it was how do you say this? No, not City. No, Michael Gove. Sorry, the Environment Secretary saying, "We get the message." So, thank God. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Crisis averted.
But then I heard them say that Theresa May's government wasn't going to act on it at all, and I heard her the other day saying, "We're the ones who said we'd cut down to zero emissions by 2050," which is quite a bit off. But whilst we're on the subject of Michael Gove.
You naughty boy.
What are you like?
Come on here, Michael Gove.
So he's out the race now, and did you see the results came in from the first vote?
And Johnson fucking
And is anyone
Boris.
surprised? Of course we're getting Boris.
Honestly, like...
And I just can't wait for PMQs with Jeremy Corbyn and fucking Boris.
If Boris does... Honestly, like, this... We are starting this revolution if Boris comes in. I will not sit back idly.
My father is a hardcore conservative. His father was a conservative before him, and his before him. He is treasurer of a conservative club.
Look at you breaking with tradition.
I know.
Mr. Cucumber.
Exactly. But no, we made that too much already. But he will not vote for Boris Johnson. He cannot stand Boris Johnson. Yeah. And I was like, well, if it comes to the ballot paper and it asks you to vote for Jeremy Corbyn, who famously my dad does not like very much. No one's dad likes Jeremy Corbyn. Or Boris Johnson, who would you vote for? And he was like, I vote for the Greens or the Lib Dems. And I was like, I'm gonna turn him. I think if Boris Johnson is the other candidate, I think I can persuade him to vote for Jeremy Corbyn.
No, I think you know, what step was my emergency? Was it number 3? No, it was number 2.
I think Boris 3 was the catchy catchphrase.
Yeah, I think number 2. An emergency. Boris Johnson becoming Prime Minister. That's an emergency. Do you know what I mean? That's absolutely. I feel like all the working classes, all the left people. Yeah. If Boris Johnson becomes Prime Minister, we will rile together.
I feel like Boris. Yeah, no, and I think that will really do incredible things for Jeremy Corbyn. To be honest,
no, definitely.
But I've got to say, I feel like Boris Johnson is just. He's our Trump if Trump actually went into politics. 100%. Like, if Trump was a career politician, which I fear if that was the case, I think that would be even worse if he just had no idea than what he was doing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Did
you see the leaked memo recently that we're not prepared for a no-deal Brexit whatsoever?
I'm not surprised, but I didn't see that leak. I heard we're spending like 50 million a day preparing for a no-deal Brexit as well. Like a ridiculous.
Oh my.
Like literally they talk about all the time how much money we're fucking spending on this shit.
The thing about Boris becoming Prime Minister as well is that I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that if it came to a general election of Boris versus Corbyn, Corbyn would win.
Well, have you seen the quote that's going viral from Boris when Gordon Brown took over after Tony Blair and going, "This is undemocratic. No one voted for this. This is a disgrace." Onto like, and
I've seen so many Boris
going around. Same situation.
Like I've seen the quote going around from Boris, like obviously being from Merseyside. I've seen the one going round about how he blamed the Liverpool fans for the Hillsborough disaster. You know, that's great. He called gay people something very offensive that even I will not mention on Plum Chutney.
My father, who again hardcore conservative, called him out on saying something racist, and it's like,
and then,
fucking hell.
Do you remember when Burkow recently called him out on his sexism in the house? When he said
I love Burkow.
Literally, what a lid! What a lid! And but anyway, my point was that sorry, I've got the national anthem in my head.
Sorry.
What a great time to be alive. Even if Boris Johnson...
So do you want up? I could turn it on.
No.
I think it emphasises our political point, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it could take, like, how long until an election is due?
Fuck me, like a couple of years, I think.
Like a couple of years in this political climate with Trump in the White House is a lot of time for Johnson to do a lot of damage. So even though Jeremy Corbyn would wipe his ass with Boris Johnson,
I think it's good we're getting a little time. 2022.
Yeah,
because they had the snap one, didn't they?
That's
so long.
It doesn't bear thinking about, especially
and under a minority government where there's so much like literally I've been watching the House of Commons quite a bit more than I would care to because it is quite dull.
Yeah.
And no one agrees on anything.
It's true.
Absolutely
and
I've
honestly,
never seen it
with
so
all this
divided.
With all this talk about Brexit and
we're as divided as America at the moment.
That's literally a big statement.
It is.
Wow. But literally with all this Brexit shit, we literally don't even talk about the fact anymore that the government is being propped up by a party that is anti-gay rights, anti-abortion, anti-everything. Do you know
and
what
I
mean?
love as well that they were the ones to say no to Theresa May's shitty deal as well. So they almost, even though I hate everything they stand for, to be fair, half her party did as well. But that's again, like I feel like even if you get Boris in, you're still gonna get, because the problem before
he's not gonna be able to put through,
because there's so many like more left wing conservatives who aren't like because it was the same thing before. Like the hardcore Brexiteers were just disagreeing with their own party, and now it's gonna be the same thing within the party. Just now Boris Johnson's in charge. You know what I mean? I genuinely can't. But at the same time, I can see that this is a supervillain master plan. Do you know what I mean?
100%,
like this is Nigel Farage, Boris Johnson, and fucking Jacob Rees-Mogg just jacking it. Like, yes.
I can imagine that. Has anybody made a meme yet where it's those funny Spider-Man villains from years ago with just those faces on them? They should do that.
No, but they should. Yeah, I love that boys meme.
Literally, it's like a year. Was it like a year ago now when that memo came out from inside Trump's inner circle saying, "Don't worry, there are adults still in the room," even though, do you know what I mean? Which is phenomenal, by the way. Top notch. Whoever did that, you get a thumbs up from Plum Chutney. But
2 thumbs up from us.
A thumb chutney.
And an homad.
That's the highest praise we can give. And like it is a point that like it's not as easy as like we do not live in in a manner of speaking, in the technical sense of the word, we do not live in a dictatorship. Do you know what I mean?
We do not.
So like it's not like, and it's not like you can come in and just press
Russia.
the nuclear.
I don't think
button.
this show would be allowed in Russia. Maybe it would.
Wow. You know what? I don't think we would, and I think that says very highly of us. I must say, Jim's.
Yeah, we're quite relevant, topical, controversial.
Very. I like how we've been steering in recent weeks towards more hot takes because our takes are just the hottest.
Oh, like, there's that.
So fucking hot.
Very good. Very good. Literally, we'll be okay. Do you know what I mean? Like,
everything will be fine. And I think,
honestly,
I think that this road I can see leading to Jeremy Corbyn being Prime Minister.
Even if it's not Jeremy Corbyn,
I would
now,
just love, or at least an actual left-wing Labour Party that isn't just, you know.
I think, to quote Hamilton, right now, we are in the eye of the hurricane, but there is not quiet. Right, like, I do think, like when I said that it takes a crisis to get some good out of it, I think we're in the heart. We don't realise it right now because it's such a long time frame. But since the results, since Cameron resigning, I think this has been the crisis. Do you know what I mean? And out the other side of it, will come something good.
Something
Will
better.
come something Corbyn. Will come
Hang
something
in there.
anything.
Yeah.
Even if it's not Corbyn, even if there's like a successor, even if it's fucking Diane Abbott, I don't care. Do you know what I mean?
She's alright.
Yeah, I love her. She's great. She's
Yeah.
10 out of
No,
10.
I mean, no Jeremy Corbyn, but
Oh,
she
who
doesn't
is?
have the
Do you know what I mean?
charisma.
Charisma.
I was going to say something. Oh yeah, well, loads of our industries, like British Steel, is done. Our car manufacturing has gone halved in the last 11 months.
Yeah.
Like it's. Like, I feel
I
like
love
most
how
of our
the
industry
thing
right now
about-
is a graph like this.
The thing about it is, before Brexit, people said, "Oh yeah, it's absolutely certain that if you vote Brexit, our industries that rely on Europe will go down." And everyone's like, "No,
Well, it was.
no."
It
No,
was,
no,
it
no.
was well, every economist
Very good.
struggle with that
Very
one.
good.
Fuck.
Very good.
That word that I just said, every one of those were like, yeah, no, it would be a disaster. But then you had loads of people like James Dyson was like,
Oh,
no, lad,
fucking
no,
hell.
lad, don't be
Hasn't,
sick. And
hasn't he moved his
Yes.
business
he
to
has.
Europe now?
has, yeah.
What? You know what, James Dyson? You get a thumbs down,
But
Chutney.
again, I think that's just, proposing and voting on something which no one had any idea on how we were meant to carry out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Do you know who I love?
That's why it's so
Donald
ridiculous.
Tusk.
Well, that's why it's so ridiculous when people say that they are absolutely against another referendum where we know the exact details of
Yeah,
the deal. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Do you want to leave Europe? Yes or no?
it's not that.
If we do-
Nothing is ever that black or white.
No. But this is what we want on an ideal ballot paper.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you want to leave Europe? Yes. No. If we do leave Europe, do you want Theresa May's shitty deal?
Yeah,
No
literally.
deal. Jeremy Corbyn's deal thing. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
not that hard.
literally. It's
And
literally-
then we can go. This is the.
This is the most popular deal.
This is the deal that has been formulated and
But
people have-
literally, but Nigel Farage and fucking Jacob Rees-Mogg are like, no, and even fucking Piers Morgan are like, no, that's not democracy. Having some more democracy after democracy, that's not democracy.
Fucking democracy. It is. I would say the longest game of Deal or No Deal that this world has seen.
You know what? And there have been some long games of Deal or No
And
Deal.
the banker still ain't called.
You know what? I don't actually know. I've never seen an episode of Deal or No Deal, I must say.
I think they're all the same length, to be fair.
Yeah, I just don't care. I mean, my only time I've ever experienced Noel Edmonds was in The Jungle and I'm a Celeb, and he was a twat. He was
a twat.
He was a bad knobber.
They did paint him as kind of a twat, but he's also been, he's been famous for so many years, and he's like an old school celebrity as well. So I feel like he was a bit of a decade. He wasn't all bad, but he was a bit of a
Whereas
decade.
celebrities are like everywhere these days. There's like
Yeah.
100 million celebrities.
Yeah.
He was a celebrity in the day where
There was
if
five
you're a
of them.
celebrity, you were
It was
king. Do you
it
know
was
what I mean?
him, Jimmy Savile,
Yeah.
and Terry Wogan.
Oh,
That was-
one's dead.
that
They're
was the
both dead.
serious one.
One's
Yeah, I love Terry Wogan.
Terry
I
Wogan
missed
was a
his
great
voice.
guy. He was a
He had
very good
such
guy.
a good voice. And my dad played Terry Wogan every morning when we woke
Oh,
up, and I always heard.
this is
Terry.
really
Can
sad.
you do a Terry Wogan impression? I wish I could do a
I
Terry.
can't fucking do a Terry Wogan impression. No, go on, try and do it.
The maybe
Phenomenal.
if I make it deeper. The time.
Here's one for you.
No, can't. Never mind. Something else
That's
I
really
saw in the news.
Oh my god,
Um,
there's more.
Well, it's not
You
really
lucky
from
ducks.
news, but I saw this. Did you hear about Justin Bieber challenging Tom Cruise to a UFC fight?
I don't know how, but I did not
did not
hear
hear
about
about
that. No.
He just tweeted out Tom Cruise.
It's funny because they're both like as tall as each other. They're like 5'2", aren't they? That's
Yeah, I mean,
hilarious.
there's quite an age difference. Tom Cruise being 56.
Fuck off, Tom Hughes.
Um,
Tom Cruise is 56. Justin Bieber maybe 25. I'm gonna say. How old's Justin Bieber? Google it.
He must be like he's like 23.
He's not 23. He's 25. I said 25.
25. Then that's not like that far off. Tweet Tom Cruise.
Why did he do this? What was the background?
I don't know. I haven't looked into why, but all I saw is this tweet that said, "I want to challenge Tom Cruise to fight in the octagon. Tom, if you don't
Incredible.
take this fight, you're scared." That's the wrong choice of "you're" there. That's a grammatical issue I have with this tweet.
I'm over
Maybe he hit the character limit. Scared, and you will never live it down. Who is willing to put on the fight? At Dana White.
I don't even enjoy Justin Bieber in like an ironic, memey way. Like he recently made an Instagram post. I know because Amy Sands follows him on Instagram for some ridiculous reason. Amy Sands, should look at yourself. He made a appreciation post for Chris Brown. you know, lady beater, multiple women beater, not just one mistake.
Well, Chris Brown's kind of one of those where it's like lots of people in the industry support him. I'm not sure if they're just all friends, like, or what it is, but I have to say there's a lot of people that I enjoy that will collaborate with Chris Brown and say Lil Dicky collaborated with him. I'm pretty sure Kanye's tight with him. Like, there's a lot of people that I would say I look up to who are completely fine with Chris Brown, so I can never take that as a detriment to them, if you know what I mean, because I'm just seeing it as an anomaly. I don't like this Chris Brown. I think he's a twat and should be kicked off the earth, but I don't think anyone who's friends with him, or I'm not sure what side of the story they've got, if you know what I mean. It's happened too much where there's too many people still supporting Chris Brown, and like, what the fuck's that about? But I understand. I really like Justin Bieber as a person. I think he's had his cunty years, but he's actually like a pretty good guy for like being like a multi-millionaire by the age of 16 and consistently famous.
He's pretty level-headed as well. He's not level-headed, but I mean, he's not gone.
He's semi-level-headed. He's also just like a really like nice guy. He does a lot of like good stuff and shit. And he also like he's quite talented as well. Not in his actual music that he releases, but he like does symphonies and writes orchestras and shit like that.
Sounds like you know an awful lot about Justin Bieber.
He's one of those people that has so many fucking hobbies that you can read about, because obviously he's been super rich since he was 16.
I would love to be rich enough just to do nothing but all my hobbies. Do you know what I mean? That would be so good. And just get loads of new hobbies.
Speaking of hobbies, have you talked about how you're going to fly a plane on Plum Chutney?
Oh my god, I'm going to fly a plane. I'm going to fly a plane.
I stole the punchline off you a bit there, didn't I?
So it was my birthday, and Amy Sands, what a gem, got me a plane flying lesson. I'm going to fly a plane.
That's so exciting.
It's ridiculous. I feel like we have talked about this.
Maybe we have.
I feel like we have talked about this on Plum Chutney.
But I was just like...
Also, what a great time to be live. So you can be there filming me. Do you know what I mean?
I can't wait for Sim to be taking me.
Literally, I can't wait.
Sim, do you want to go to Barbados?
Love to. I can't, when you're filming and flying, I just imagine you'll be like, selfie video, like, we're about to watch some fly, and then you'll forget to do it, and it'll just be a selfie video of you. It'll be really funny.
That does sound pretty fucking funny.
But, no, I'm shitting my pants, of course.
And also
it's going to be one of them. I'm going to be like, I can't wait to be every single day that I talk to any person in the world, just be like, well, I flew a plane once.
It's like me with I actually went to Colombia.
It's true, literally.
There's one last thing that I saw, and I just think I wanted to.
Oh, I'm very excited for this.
So I'd never heard of this before, but apparently there's this festival, and it's called Shrekfest.
My goodness. When you put in Shrekfest, I thought that was like breakfast. Like Shrekfest.
I didn't mean to put Shrekfest. I meant to put Shrekfest. There we go.
Oh my god. Oh fuck this me. What is that face?
So this is just. So I'm thinking it is in August this year in America, so I don't think we can go this year because I can't afford it.
Well, maybe next year I'll be able to fly us.
Exactly. So I'm hoping that one day we can go to Shrekfest, because it just looks like.
Do you think when I fly, you can get like an aux cable and like, do you know what I mean?
Put the tunes on. I don't know. In a helicopter, you've got headphones on.
Where are you?
I'm Shrek.
Oh my god.
Where are you right now?
Oh, Shrekfest.
Somebody once told.
Is this like an annual thing now?
You know, who doesn't like Shrek?
I don't know how to feel about it. Like, part of me wants to hate it, but I know it's
I
fun.
remember that.
That's weird.
There you are.
Good to go.
Honestly, I have never
Get to play Shrek the game.
I feel like my entire life has been
So we have a roar contest here. Rules are
you know the America
one roar.
This is added to it.
I'm adding it to it right now. The America list, for all those who don't know, is a list of things that me and Zooms and Amy are going to do when we road trip America. It has some pretty good things, like riding down a country road in West Virginia. Bumping into somebody in the street and going, "Hey, I'm walking here,
Johnny, my doggy boy, girl. Hey, what are you doing?" and I want to tell someone, you're never gonna walk in this town again.
What's another one? Oh, drink alcohol out of a paper bag. Of course,
that's
of course.
Classic. There's
Yeah.
also, sorry, just whilst we're on Shrekfest, there's onion eating contest.
Oh,
So do you think we should enter the onion eating
I
contest?
love onions. I love them. I think I
Are you
love them even
prepared
more.
to eat an onion whole for plum chutney?
Jim's. Oh my god, that's what I'm going to do instead of a chili. I'm going to
No, I'm going to get you to eat chili at some point. Anyway.
Okay.
But you should eat an entire onion because I'd love to see that.
I would love that. There's a world record for that, isn't there? The fastest time to eat a raw onion. That's like a popular thing.
It looks like a painful experience.
Oh
It's
no,
not
I
like
don't
fun.
want like. But I'll do it. I enjoy like picking at a little raw onion. Do you know what I mean? No, like
It's bizarre.
no, I mean like
Like a tangerine.
no,
just
you know,
split
like
into
if there's
segments.
like a salad or something, or a salad bar,
Yeah.
and there's like little slices of onion. I will occasionally just take a bit.
I mean, I feel like with a salad.
you don't like onion though, do you?
I'm partial to some red onion.
Red onion, but not white onion.
I'll have white onion if it's cooked up
Racist.
and like if it's fried up with like on a
Yeah,
hot dog or
That sounds
something.
pretty good.
But I
would love that right now.
oh, I'd love that too. Danny Rushton's making me fajitas, and I'm very excited.
Oh,
But I've
sounds
never
amazing.
had that with just a piece of onion on its own. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like
well,
in a salad, in a
I
salad,
feel like you're
I
painting me out
rarely
to be
say-
like a guy who goes to the salad bar and goes, you know what, I want, just give me fucking onions. No, I just meant, I just picking it, Jim's, fuck off. Fuck off. You know what, that's the end of Plum Chutney week 9.
no, I'm just saying. I feel like in a traditional salad,
Yeah.
white onion's not a part of it.
No. What's a traditional salad? Oh, does it not fit into your cookie cutter
My
box? of,
traditional gender salad values.
does
No, I'm
it-
just saying. I don't think I've seen a salad where it's got a white onion in it. I mean, to be fair, I'm not sure.
I've never been to a
I'm
festival
not
where
sure.
everybody's dressed as Shrek, but I know I want to fucking go. Fuck off. Fuck off.
To be fair, you might be able to tell by the look of me that I do not frequent the salad bar. I am not the connoisseur of
To be fair,
salads.
every time that I mention the salad bar, because I love a salad bar, all you have to say is, I've heard they're really unhygienic.
I have.
Which I bet you haven't even heard that. You just hate the salad bar and just need an excuse so you don't want to go. You just
Fuck the salad bar. To be fair, salad bars killed my father.
Your father's still alive. That's a lie.
He's not my real dad.
Wait.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
I like this one. It's good.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, I think
I think that's it.
we've talked about all the things we need to talk about.
We have, apart from one thing,
Oh, there's more things.
just one thing. We need an outro.
Jim Jarvis.
So if you don't want to work on that, that's fine. I can find some
No,
royalty free.
No. This is my.
And I think for
this
the
is my.
outro,
This is my weight to carry.
it'd be nice to have like.
What would you like me to include?
I would like a 10 to 20 second, maybe like so we can play it and kind of fade out sort of thing.
Nice. Give me
I-
me the dynamics.
Does it
of
need
it.
to have any lyrics or anything? Maybe just a nice tune. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
okay.
Just like a nice little
Yeah.
ditty that I can play at the end. It doesn't need to be
A little ditty.
a ditty, as they say in France. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. If that's
nice.
okay.
That's
That's-
some very specific criteria.
Well, I mean,
10 to 20 seconds long.
a bit of a ditty. Well, I don't know anything. Do you know what I mean? I'll let you. You're the musician of us.
What?
All I can offer is a.
Here's one for you.
That definitely has to go at the end of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
Like-
we can. Well, I can put that on the soundboard and then. But for now, for lack of it, outro. I mean, it's hard to follow up this, to be fair, but it has been incredible. The people we have met on the way, the friendships we have had.
It's been an honour.
It has. It truly has. And
Gentlemen, it's been an honour playing with you tonight. Jums, it's been an honour talking with you today.
thank you. You also as
We
well.
will see you next week
We
when
will.
potentially we will be live.
Oh my God! Mark it on your calendars, boys.
Well, love you.
Stay
Love you.
plum-tastic.
Viva Lenin.